Words cannot express how nice of a morning it is. The crisp fall air is so refreshing to breathe. All the leaves have begun to change color and drop from the trees. This is truly a remarkable time of the year to be in the outdoors. I'm hiking deep into the wilderness. I don't know exactly where I'm going yet, but somewhere out there is my home for the next few days. I've been hiking for about an hour. I made it to this small stream. It's not flowing very fast, it's not very deep, but it is water. The old saying goes that the grass is always greener on the other side. I'm going to put that to the test and see if I can't cross here. That log jam made crossing quite easy. Made it across, didn't get my boots wet. So now, I'm just going to follow this river and keep my eyes open for a nice place to set up camp. Well, that certainly didn't take long. I think crossing the river was the right decision. Just a little ways upstream from where I crossed, come to this nice little clearing. Getting a little bit of sunshine right now, feels pretty good. This is going to be an awesome spot to have a camp. I do have all this tall grass and plant life to deal with. Rather than cutting it and having to deal with the debris, I'm going to use a simple method to flatten it out. I've simply tied a piece of rope to each end of a stick. Using my foot to press down on the stick, I can very easily flatten down all the plant life, which is going to create a sort of natural carpet or ground sheet for my camp. All it takes is a few minutes, and my camp looks like I've already been here for a week. I've got a nice natural carpet on the ground now, ready to start setting up. For this trip, I'm going to be using a small canvas tent. My waxcloth tarp that I've been using over the past few years has finally come to the end of its life. The material is beginning to fall apart and tear. It's beyond repair, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to fashion up a new one soon. But for the time being, I'm going to be using this canvas tent. The most common way to set up these tents is to put a pole inside of the tent right in the middle, which lifts the peak up. Personally, I'm not a fan of having that pole in the middle of the tent, especially on these smaller ones. It takes up a lot of real estate and really limits your configuration for your sleep system inside of that tent. Instead, I'm opting to use 3 sturdy poles that I just cut. I'm going to lash them together, form a tripod. I can string up the peak of the tent to my tripod and eliminate having that pole in the middle of the tent. There we go. Pretty quick and easy setup. You can imagine if that middle pole was right here, it would really change the layout of the tent. Now I can just lay my bedroll right through the middle. Plenty of room in here for me and my gear. That sun is beaten down, and with this dark material it is hot in here, so I'll make quick work of laying out my bedroll, and then we can get on to building up the rest of camp. Oh yeah, that is not too shabby at all. Wow. It's going to be a good few nights out here, that's for sure. Now, one thing no good camp goes without is a comfortable place to sit. These nights are going to be pretty cool, and I don't want to be sitting on the ground, so it's time to take the saw, go get myself a nice comfortable camp chair. I ended up cutting a little bit more wood than I had originally planned. I cut one regular sized stump and then one that's a little bit shorter, which should come in handy later. I also cut a few small poles to make a small tripod that can serve as a backrest. Very easy to make and adds a lot of comfort to camp. So camp is basically set up at this point. Still got to make my fire pit and get a fire going so I can have myself a bite to eat before I turn in. The days are certainly getting short. It's pretty incredible. Sunset's very early now, but I'm all for it because that means snow is coming and I cannot wait until there's a blanket of white over everything. Really, really nice evening. Starting to cool off quite a bit. Might be a cold one, probably going to get down pretty close to 0 degrees, so we'll see what happens, but for right now it's time to get a fire going. Just like that, the camp goes from being dim and cold to bright and cheerful. Got a nice little fire going here, putting off some good heat. The temperature is already dropping significantly. I can already see my breath, and I'm thinking it's going to be getting down to freezing tonight. This will be interesting. This is my first test with this bedroll, first cold weather test. So it'll be interesting to see how I fare and if I'm able to stay warm. I do have some extra clothes, of course. If I get cold, I can layer up a bit. But it'll be interesting to see how it does in this colder weather. I figured today was going to be pretty much all camp set up. So I packed a nice simple meal to enjoy. Quick and easy to cook. No cleanup. So I'm going to enjoy my meal and then I'll be turning in. Good morning. It was a fantastic night out here. Got a little bit of wind coming in now, but last night was super calm, not a cloud in the sky. Didn't quite get down to freezing, but stayed plenty warm. Had no issues staying warm, so the bedroll is officially rated for probably 0 degrees at least. I guess we'll keep trying it out, seeing how far I can take it into the winter. Just been up for a little bit, went for a little hike, walking around, exploring, looking for a bit of game. And now I'm back at camp, getting myself a little pan bannock started. Get it over the fire, make myself some coffee, and have a nice breakfast. I ended up making one small adjustment to my stump seat, or the tripod back, I guess. Now, typically I make this back pole a little bit longer so that it angles further out, so it's less likely to get pushed back. What I found is when I sat back in this seat, these two front legs wanted to push back. So very simply I just put a little length of rope between the two. So now when I spread them wide enough that my stump sits between them, my stump actually sits on that rope. Now when I sit down, this back can't move, so it's being held down by my body weight under the stump. So another little improvement that can be made if you're having that issue. And of course it's nice to have a sweater or perhaps a blanket to lay over top of this. You actually end up with a very comfortable place to sit around camp. Alright, bannock turned out pretty good. Only got a few little dark spots, but nothing I'm too worried about. Let's see, I guess we'll cut it this way. People always get mad when I cut bannock, but whatever. Oh yeah, look at that. I think what I'll do is just slice her in half. I got some jam to go with it. Have a wonderful breakfast. Nothing quite like a good breakfast to start the day in the outdoors. Oh, good coffee. Haven't had cowboy coffee in a while. Sure tastes good. Alright, we got raspberry jam bannock. Oh man. Wow. Well, this certainly is a great way to start the day. Going to finish up the rest of my meal, drink the rest of my coffee, and then got a little project that I want to work on today. One piece of my kit that I've grown tired of using is this tin plate. This was the lid off of a cookie tin, actually. It had a plastic coating on it, so I burned that off in the fire, scoured it clean. This is what I've been using to eat from. The problem is that it doesn't have much depth to it, so once you get a meal in here, it's not uncommon for it to end up spilling over the edges. It's also very crinkly, so today I want to make an improvement to my kit and make something to replace this. Alright, got a nice trembling aspen that was blown over by the wind quite some time ago, but I don't think it's rotten. So I'm going to cut a nice little section out right here, I think. Hopefully it ends up being a nice piece of wood for me. Well, the wood certainly has moisture in it still. I expected that, but it doesn't appear to be rotten at all. So I think this is going to be a nice piece of wood to work with. So first things first, I got to get my piece of wood down to a workable size. I don't want to knock all this wood down with just my hatchet, so I'm actually going to split it. Now there's an interesting way. Typically what I would do is place my hatchet on here and beat it through with a baton. But rather than doing that, I can actually use my knife and some wood wedges. All I'm going to do is use my knife to create a starting line, or a starting split. So just like that, we were able to split that piece of wood very easily. So I think I'm going to use this half right here. I'm actually going to do the same thing, split my piece of wood down again. This certainly is what I've been longing for. Wielding my pipe and hatchet, carving a piece of wood, enjoying the peace and quiet of the outdoors. This is what I've been missing. Starting to take shape. A little more shape work, and then we can move on to the next part. With a little effort, got myself a new plate. Pretty happy with it. It's definitely got more depth than this little tin plate, not nearly as flimsy. I left the backside nice and flat so I can use that as a cutting board. All in all, pretty happy with it. I got a little bit more work to do to it, cleaning it up a bit, but for now, it will suffice. Only got probably an hour left of daylight, maybe not even, so I think I'm gonna get busy cooking up my supper and enjoy the rest of the evening. For supper tonight, a camp classic. I've got a few nice pieces of pork skewered up. I'm going to broil them over the open flame. And I've got a can of beans. I'm doing pork and beans tonight. Real simple meal, but one that is oh so good. Words cannot explain how excited for this I am. It smells so good. Let's try some of these beans. The older I get, the more I just absolutely love this meal. Been eating it quite a bit lately. Try some of this pork. Oh man. That is too good. Wow. Another nice thing about the wood plate is it insulates me from the hot food, so when I set it on my lap, it doesn't burn me. So good. I think it'd be a pretty tough argument to make to say life gets any better than this. Well, it has certainly been one fantastic day. Really nothing I can complain about. Got a pot of tea made. My fire has grown to be quite long, unintentionally, but it's putting off some really good heat, which feels nice. The temperature has certainly started to drop already, and it feels colder than it did this time last night, so I might be in for a bit of a colder night. Who knows? This short stump that I cut, this was the original purpose that I had intended to use it for. Shorter seat, lower to the ground, so I can extend my legs and lean back and really lounge and relax next to my fire. And it's been pretty handy having it around camp. I've been able to use it for quite a few different things. Helped out a lot with my carving today. It's been nice to have an extra flat space around camp to set things and use it as a side table. Oh, that is good. So, really not much left for me to do. I'm just going to sit here, relax, enjoy myself next to the fire. And once this dies down, I'll be ready for bed and call it a night. To an excellent day. Good morning. Another great night out here. It got pretty cold last night. There was quite a bit of wind going, so I don't see any frost, but I'm pretty sure it was real close to 0 degrees. Got my morning coffee. Always tastes great. And some leftover bannock with jam. It was cold enough this morning that I decided to break out my toque and my wool gloves. It was pretty chilly. Felt good. Once the sun comes out a bit more, things will warm up and the rest of the day will be pretty warm, I think. But yeah, the colder nights are feeling good. Much better than sleeping in the heat, that's for sure. And I just cannot wait until we get some snow. Hopefully it should be right away. Thinking pretty soon we're going to be dropping below 0, so won't be long now. Really don't have much else planned for today. Just finish my breakfast and pack up my camp. I'm pretty impressed with that canvas tent. It did pretty good. My one gripe with any closed shelter when you're sleeping in colder weather is that the inside just gets lined with condensation. So that's kind of the drawback, I guess, but other than that, it held up good. Had some pretty strong winds yesterday and last night, and it didn't move at all, so pretty happy with it. Sadly, though, this marks the end of the trip. It's been a really good few days out here. Really nice to get back out. And hopefully this is the beginning of a productive fall and winter season. I got a lot of trips planned, so hopefully I'm able to get out and accomplish all I want to and spend a lot of time in the outdoors. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. I should be back right away with the next one, and I hope to see you there. It's time for me to finish up my breakfast and then get busy taking down camp, so I better get to it. Again, thank you all for watching. As always, God bless and happy trails.